What is going on, y'all? Your boy is on the late night grind, but I got another mini project done, and I got it done tonight. It's late. Well, it's not late, but it's getting dark and it's getting cold, and I got it done. But what I got done is the shifter. I got the shifter installed, and I got the console kind of temporarily mocked up where it's going to be. So I'm going to show you that here in a moment. But man, I'm on my late night grind. As you can see, it's dark outside. You probably can barely see me right now. But I'm going to take you to the shifter and show you guys how I did it and just kind of go from there. So here goes the next clip. All right, y'all, there she go. She in there. Obviously, the seats are in. The seats are in there, and then the shifter is in there. So if you guys didn't know, this is actually a used console. I actually scored it from a guy who found it in a storage unit. So there was a bunch of late 60s Chevelle parts, and I think he either probably buys storage units that have been vacant for a while, and then whatever he has in there he just sells for money. So he actually had the shifter in there and some other parts, and he had it listed for 75 bucks, and he wasn't sure exactly what year it went to, but he kind of just thought it was late 60s, and from 68 to 72 they used the same console, and so it ended up working out, and I scored it for $75. So try to clean it up the best as I could. What I'll probably do is cover this up there. I think that's stainless steel, and then it's actually broken right here, but you can't tell if it's installed. But I'm gonna have to make probably like a center plate there that I can cover that hole with there. But I have the lid here, and the door, and the hinge mechanism, and the lock, and all that. It was actually broke right here, so what I did is I took some little galvanized aluminum, and I cut it to fit, and then I just epoxied everything in there from the other side, so that way I could cover that hole up there. So that's good to go. But other than that, y'all, I mean, it's pretty dang clean. I cleaned it up and painted it and all that. So but the shifter is in there, y'all. She in there. So let me go ahead and sit in the car so you can see what it looks like. All right, y'all, so here we go. So I'm actually sitting in the seat, and as you can see, my arm is within reach of that shifter. So it's a pretty comfortable reach. I kind of have the seat kind of temporarily mocked up where I think I would be sitting to drive. But yeah, it's like a pistol grip style shifter. You can see it's a TCI Outlaw brand or whatever, but I'm pissed, y'all, because I actually scuffed it up right here. I was working on it, and then it fell, and I was like, damn it. But anyways, it's used. I actually got it off Facebook Marketplace for like 200 bucks or something, or maybe like 175 maybe. But yeah, you can pull it here, and then I can pull it all the way back, and right now that's all the way back, and this should be pretty good. What I'll have to do probably is actually raise it up, and I'll probably just raise it up with some washers or some type of spacers or something like that. That way, when I actually make a plate, the handle section itself won't be hitting that plate as it goes forward and back. So, but I'll get to that a little later on. But I just wanted to kind of temporarily put everything in, so that way when I get the car moving and started, I can actually put it in gear and kind of go from there. So, but it looks pretty good, y'all. Console's kind of like pretty much in its location, kind of where it's going to be. And what I'll probably do is probably go to like a front view so you guys can kind of see. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. So I won't be able to use that cover. Actually, it fits in there, and I could use it if I wanted to, but I'll probably just leave it out. It's interesting how this whole shifter bracket or shifter assembly mounts in there, and I'm going to show you that here in a moment. As you can see, it's kind of from side to side, it'll move a little bit, and I don't know if I really like that, but what I might do so it doesn't move side to side is maybe put something in between here, if you can see it moving side to side. So I might have to like anchor something down or stuff something in there, maybe, I don't know, like some type of spacer or nut or bolt or something like that, so it can't move side to side. But this is how this particular shifter is anchored in, and let me show you that real quick. I'm gonna take off the console so you guys can kind of see. All right, so real quick, this is how I did it to kind of anchor it in. So It's a little greasy right now because I was using WD-40 when I was drilling, so that way it wouldn't dull my drill. But I just use one long plate. And how the stock actually, the stock horseshoe style shifter goes is there's actually a bracket that's similar to this right here, except it's kind of bent and conformed to the contours of the floor. And as you can see, there's a big gap in here. I don't know if you can see it, but the normal bracket is actually bent and then like I said, shaped to the contours of the floor, and then the horseshoe style shifter is actually, you know, right there. So, and it bolts pretty much here and here. What I did, and actually I needed it this way so I could actually raise the shifter up higher, is I just used one long plate. I don't know, it's probably like an 1/8 inch or so by, you know, 3.5 inches wide. And this is actually left over from my shifter install from my Regal. And so I had that left over, so that was pretty clutch. But what I did is actually just put 2 riv nuts here in the floor, and then 1 riv nut here, and and then I cut the hole out in the brackets, and then I just put the bolts. These are actually the stock bolts that came with the shifter. Put the stock bolts here and just bolted them down and secured them to the riv nuts in the floor. Same with this one here. So I did that there as well. So I have to get a little bit longer bolt for this one, but for now it's in there. And I just, you know, made a marker and a line to kind of like put it where I wanted it, so I could remember where it went. And then I did the same thing here, just made a marker there, and then I just drilled out the holes and everything, and then good to go. So yeah, that's kind of how it is. But so this here is actually secured, kind of interesting, and I don't know if they're all like that, but basically what it is you have this sleeve or bracket or whatever you want to call it, and then the actual whole shifter itself, the whole mechanical handle and everything, actually just sits in there, and these 2 pins is what holds it in. And so that's why you get the sliding side to side, but you don't get any play really up and down. It's all kind of like side to side, because like I said, the shifter itself is just sitting in this like little sleeve, and then these pins actually hold it in. And I've never seen nothing like that before, but it's kind of cool, I guess. It makes it for, I guess, easy, you know, disassembly, and you could take it out as needed or whatever. But it doesn't bother me, but you know, the side to side motion, I don't know if that will get kind of annoying. So maybe I'll put something like maybe in this little gap or something in between, that way it can't move or something like that. So I don't know, stuff, piece of cardboard or something in between. But all in all, y'all, I mean, I like it. It's pretty dang cool. So let me get you a front view. All right, y'all, so there she goes. There's a front view of it, and I got my flashlight so you guys can kind of see kind of what it looks like. But yeah, kind of like an overview right here, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And yeah, I'm happy with that, y'all. I'm happy with that. All right, y'all, what's up? I'm back at it here the next day, and I wanted to try to look at this console and shifter a little bit more, and ended up figuring out that I have to raise this shifter up. And so I have the cover on it now, just to kind of see if I left the cover on, how close I could get it to sit flush, or how much higher it was going to be. I don't mind if it sits a little higher. It's how it is on my Regal. And when I made my plate around this, so that's exposed on my Regal, which actually doesn't look bad at all. What I'm trying to do is actually keep this below the this level here, so that way the only thing that would be showing when I actually make a plate to put over the top would be just the shifter from like here up only. So I measured from here to here, because that's the highest point of the shifter here, and I have about 1/4 of an inch left of room to come up, and I might be good with that. This part of the handle might sit a little below this level, but that's okay because it's actually almost in line with, so this part of the release lever here is actually almost in line with this part of the shaft and the shifter. And when I make an opening here for my plate to help compensate for that, then or to help to so the arm of the shifter will go back and forth, that will pretty much be sitting in that area that's open on the actual plate, and I think I'll be okay even if that part sits down a little bit lower below the top plate that I make. So as long as most of this is exposed and I can grab it, I'll be perfectly okay with that. So yeah, so I mean, if you can see what I'm talking about here, I've got this little cardboard piece of paper, and so if I had it right here, if this was part of the plate, then that part of the shifter would kind of sit down. Obviously this would be lower, but that part of the shifter would be down below, or you know, kind of tucked up in the console there, but when it's all the way forward. But that's okay. I'm perfectly okay with that. Most of that will be exposed, like I said, as long as I have enough room to kind of stick my fingers in there and grab and pull it to release the shifter. I think I would be perfectly okay with that. But all in all, y'all, I think it looks pretty good. I'm getting there. So what I did, I actually raised it up, and what I did is I actually had a longer set of bolts here already. I had some longer than this, is which I needed, and I kind of needed to use a spacer of some sort. So I found these little, or had these little 1/4 inch sockets here that were just about 3/4 inches long, or 3/4 of an inch long, just to kind of use as a tester to see how much I needed to raise it. And it actually worked really well. So I figured I probably need about an inch spacer, because I need just a little bit more room on the way up. And if inch is too tall, then I can grind it down a little bit. It might be a tad too tall, because it might hit here, but I think I will be okay. I think I'll be okay. So we shall see. But anyways, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm gonna cover this part here. I have this actually this really cool carbon fiber wrap. I think I'm gonna cover this part here, and then I'm just gonna leave this area here. It's a little bit peeling here, but that's okay. I mean, for 75 bucks and me cleaning this thing up, I think it looks pretty damn good. So, but yeah, y'all, she in there for the most part. So I think that's actually probably gonna do it for my shifter install. And yeah, I am happy with this. One thing that I'm gonna mention, I wasn't intending on using this, and I wasn't intending for this to sit up this high, and so I was actually trying to get this part of the handle and the shaft to kind of sit centered in here, because originally if I centered this whole shifter on the column, because of the way that the shaft is actually over here and not centered in the bracket, the whole shifter itself, then if I were to center this bracket on the tunnel, then this part of the handle and the shifter would have been like over here, shifting back and forth this way instead of over here. So I had to actually move the whole plate that I made over a little bit and have this shifted over, so that way by the time this got towards the middle of the console, it was kind of more centered. Now that I have to lift it up and do some other tweaking with it, that kind of took away from my original plan. So anyways, it's okay. It's still for the most part pretty much centered in there, and I'll take it. So, you know, worst case, I'll have a little bit extra room here, and not too bad. Maybe I could put some nitro switches or something right there, I don't know. Anyways, that's it, y'all. So I'm pretty much probably gonna wrap up this part of the shifter install until I get the cable and all that routed into the tunnel and tucked in there. So I think we're good to go. All right, let me know what y'all think, y'all. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll holla at y'all later. All right, peace.